Calling all Discovery of Witches fans. Today, we'll be going over the fantasy series, like what to expect for the third and final season. We'll also touch on a prank that Adele Leonce initiated on cast member Matthew Goode. Then we'll discuss Teresa Palmer's part on the show, who plays Diana Bishop. And if you didn't know, the original storyline with Diana was supposed to go a different way, but writers ended up changing the script. Lastly, we learn that the series has had a mainly all-white cast, and that's drawing in some hate. To kick things off, we'll talk on the third season. The production had to navigate around COVID when it came to filming for the third season. They first started shooting in late 2020 and wrapped it up in February 2021. Fans only had to wait a mere few weeks after filming stopped to get the trailer. With the arrival of the last season, fans are binge-watching on either Sky Max or the streaming service Now. Tanya Moodie, who plays Agatha Wilson on the show, said, "They'll feel satisfied and they'll feel hungry. People are on edge in preparation for the character fight for the future. They'll be striving for a better future for witches, vampires, as well as humans." The third season aired just earlier this year on January 8th. Only the first episode of the season is available to stream for US viewers. The series as a whole contains 7 episodes, and each lasts for about 40 minutes to an hour. For those who don't know, each season was based on Deborah Harkness's trilogy. The third book is the longest in the whole series, so it's safe to say they had their work cut out for them. Within just the first 2 episodes, we come to see both Matthew Claremont and Diana Bishop go through the loss of a loved one. They too must come to terms with the twins they're expecting, and on top of that, they find out their ward, Jack, is a new vampire who's trying to cope with his thirst for blood. And that is just the tip of the iceberg. You'll have to tap in to watch the rest of the episodes to find out what else awaits for Matthew and Diana. It's been thought, why is the successful season drawing to an end? The response is simple. The shows only go for as long as the book series is. Don't worry, this may not be the end of the series as we know it. There's been talks of a potential spin-off, so it's no wonder Teresa Palmer jumped at the possibility of a spin-off. A new episode airs each week, so stay tuned for more information each week. Next, let's learn about a little on-set fun between the cast. Adele revealed that the cast had a surprise for Matthew as an end-of-filming present. Adele, who plays Phoebe, let the rest of the crew besides Matthew in on a prank. She said one of the final days was one of the final scenes of the whole series, and it had most of the characters in it. It was so fun. We turned the music on really loud, and we all just danced in a location that will be familiar to you all by now. She continued by saying, Matthew had no idea. He was like, what the hell is going on? She even let us in on a secret by saying she took some on-set mementos for herself. She stated, Phoebe's got quite the wardrobe, so I've always got my eye out for a few of her dresses. One has come to St. Lucia with me. It hasn't had its moment, but yeah, I took some of the dresses. Why not? So when can we expect to see her sporting some of these clothes off the show? She continued with, it was really jokes. Really strange seeing Lindsay Duncan dance. She is so hot, I love her. Now, let's see what Teresa Palmer has to say about her character, Diana. In the beginning of the third season, Diana Bishop and Matthew return to the Now from 1590. In the trailer for the new series, the combined forces of both the vampires and the witches are a threat to their children. Let them come, Diana says. I'm ready. Together, they face a number of enemies in order to keep their family and creatures safe. The two aim to find new ways to unify the power that'll help them survive. Teresa had an interview with Collider, and she talked about her first day on the series compared to the last. She even expressed what she did to prepare her emotions for the ending. She divulged into the toll the grief had on Diana. She compared Peter to Benjamin as villains, and how it's been having Goode as her co-star throughout the show. Teresa even tells whether or not she would consider returning to the role in the future. Palmer also expresses her interest in the role in the first place. She had said how interested she was in playing the role after she read the book. I felt so connected to Diana in so many ways, she says. In fact, she wanted the role so badly, she meditated in the bathroom prior to her audition. Well, if that worked well enough for her to get the role, better take that into consideration next time you want something. Next, let's learn about how Diana's storyline differed from the books. Palmer shared why her fate was changed in the third season. It opens up with Diana having to face the tragic events that took place at the season 2 finale. Upon Diana's return, she learns of Emily's murder and that it was at the hands of Knox. Emily was like a mom to Diana, and she's overcome with emotions. Matthew saves the day with some good news. So, according to the books about the series, Diana ends up having a miscarriage, but the writers thought it was best to not follow that storyline for season 2. She expressed her opinions about the writer's choice to EW. Palmer confessed, "I really fought for the miscarriage to be included in the series. As a woman who's had a miscarriage herself, I thought it was really pertinent to the story and the journey of Matthew and Diana." In a nutshell, the writers and producer felt that there wouldn't be enough time to portray her character during the grieving process. According to the head of the show's release, it's been said that motherhood will change Diana. No doubt, Diana and Matthew will face new problems of their own as partners who are new to the world of parenting. It'll be a change of its own, trying to be a mother as well as the world's most powerful witch. So we wonder how Diana will balance motherhood along with obtaining the role as a powerful witch. Anytime a book series decides to turn into a show, it always runs the risk of not satisfying. Another big issue is the fact that the pace of events is sometimes too rushed. Not to mention, some of the magical elements aren't fully explained in the series. The show doesn't elaborate enough on some of the supernatural abilities, and that leads to confusion among fans. Now, let's talk about a problem with their mainly white cast. There's a number of things wrong with Discovery of Witches, and the fact that there's almost no people of color involved. It's been said that even regular TV could handle it better. Season 2 depicts an even whiter cast than the first. The time frame suggests it's easier to imagine vampires and witches back in the day rather than people of color. Not to say the first season wasn't diverse, but the roles were on hold for white people. The only people of color on the show were Matthew's ex-girlfriend, along with Diana's mom's partner, Emily. The second season was set even further in the past and is even whiter than the first. The only glimpses of people of color we see are portrayed as servants or coven members. Yet in other series such as Bridgerton, they're progressive enough to include black dukes and queens. The increasing number of white characters is negative from certain perspectives. Being that there are such few characters of color, it often seems like a show on racial discrimination. They do portray one accurate oppression, and it was centered around Jewish people as well. However, his character played such a minor role. This fact may be because writers aren't mature enough to address the matter. It's possible they could have a person of color play a more significant role in the future. That way it would elaborate more on the differences going on between the two in that era. There you have it. We let you know about the third season and what to expect for the new season that has a few episodes out already. Then we let you in on an on-set prank between cast members at the finale. We learned about Teresa on her role as Diana and how badly she wanted the role for herself. Then we learn how the book's storyline differed from the show. Lastly, we touched on the mainly white cast and how it's justified, but how it also draws a little hate. Do you have hope for a spin-off? And what do you think about the information regarding season 3? Let us know what you think.